everybody. So we are so excited today to be here to dive into winter movies coming up. We kind of classify this as November, December, and January. We're going to be talking about all the different films coming out. And I'm Rachel, and David is here.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thank you for coming. This is always a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing these previews and wrap-ups, and we'll be talking about movies that, for the most part, don't have anything to do with Christmas. So that's a good thing in my life
That's
right
very
now.
true.
So I'm excited, and it's a pretty interesting group of movies, and I'm very curious to see which ones end up flopping, which ones end up doing well, because especially in December, you have a lot of pretty big releases all crammed into 1 month. So, and there's no obvious, completely obvious winner, because there's no Starbucks. What am I saying? There's no Star Wars this year, so there are some surprises. So yeah, we're just gonna go through the list, and we tried to include some independent, some anime, some whatever, and we'll talk about the big, the small, everything in between. So, all right. First up, we're starting it on the 2nd of November. We have The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. And what are your thoughts on this?
This is a trailer they've been showing for a very long time. And the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this looks like it could be really great. But this year, it's really thanks to A Wrinkle in Time. It kind of shook my faith in Disney. So I'm a little more cautious about this. I like the cast, but I'm not completely sure that it's going to be great.
Yeah, I really want it to be great because there has never been a good Nutcracker movie. First of all, they have been epically bad. If you want to watch an absolutely terrible movie and make fun of it, then Nutcracker 3D is a very good choice. But they are really bad, and so for that reason, it'd be fun to have because I'm a Christmas movie person, so it'd be fun to have a good Nutcracker movie. But also, it's something weird and different, and for a studio that does a lot of sequels and live action remakes, it would be really cool if this was great. And but I am concerned. The visual style definitely looks very Tim Burton-y, very Alice in Wonderland, and I just feel like I feel like they have not done a good job with marketing it, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but I don't know. I just feel like they don't have a ton of faith in it, which doesn't give, like, nobody's talking about it, like on Twitter, or I don't know. I guess they've had the one trailer, but I don't know. I just feel like you can tell when Disney has faith in a movie and when they don't. And I don't know if they really have faith in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has potential, and I hope it's good. I really want it to be good.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it seems like a pretty unconventional take on the Nutcracker story. It doesn't even seem to resemble the Nutcracker story too well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it looks colorful, and like the trailer's well put together. So like I have some hope for it, but I've learned to just be a little hesitant about these sort of things.
If you had to, if we did, let's do for these. Let's do a like 5 most excited, and like 0 not excited at all, 0 excitement. So where would you rank this as your excitement level?
I'd actually put it probably 3 or 4 even. It's pretty close.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a 3 for me as well. All right, Nobody's Fool. This is a comedy, and it's like a catfish revenge comedy, I guess. And I don't know. I did not like this trailer. I thought that Tiffany Haddish was a lot. She was very kind of shrill and not. I don't know. And I guess because I haven't seen Girls Trip, I'm not like as inclined to be as forgiving of her antics maybe as other people. But I don't know. I did not like this trailer kind of at all.
Yeah, I mean, Tiffany Haddish is kind of all over 2018. This is her fourth big release this year. And the first two I saw and I did not like them. Spoiler for our recap podcast. I
Yeah.
haven't seen The Oath. I think it looks great, but I'm hoping to watch that next weekend. I actually think this looks better than Uncle Drew and better than Night School. Um, there's a few laughs for me in the trailer, but still, it doesn't look great. And I'm kind of tired of seeing those jokes since I've seen the trailer several times now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. The Night School trailer, I heard the movie is terrible. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'll find a way to see it, but before I recap. But it actually made me chuckle a couple times. This just wasn't doing it for me. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really not excited. So I hate giving something a zero, but it kind of is true.
Oh wow.
Really not.
Okay. Well, I'd give this probably a one or maybe a
Yeah.
two. I don't know. I guess I'm more generous than you.
Okay.
And I know that I'm going to see pretty much everything that we talk about or
Yeah.
close to it.
So yeah, I'm going to be watching 4 Hallmark movies every single weekend for the next two
Oh,
months. So it's going to be an acrobatic feat for me to see some of these movies, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, so Bohemian Rhapsody, and this movie I think looks fine. It looks like a standard biopic, but I like biopics, so it's a little bit I think hurt, even though A Star Is Born isn't a biopic. It feels like the same kind of movie of like a rock star that I don't know, and so I think it might get hurt a little bit with that because that's so good. Star Is Born is so good, but it looks fine to me.
okay. Are you a fan of Queen at
Mhm.
all?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I really like Queen's music. So when I first heard about this, I was really excited about it. And the first picture I saw of what's his name, Rami Malek, is that his name?
Yeah.
The first picture I saw of him as Freddie Mercury, I was like, wow, that's spot on. But then when I watched the trailers, I'm like, no, that doesn't look like him. Like it
Mm,
looks weird.
yeah.
He's a strange looking guy as it is, but him trying to look like Freddie Mercury, like it doesn't work for me. And I hope I can get past that because I'm actually pretty excited for this, just because like I love the music. I think
Yeah.
he's got an interesting story, so I think it could be really good.
Yeah. I'd give it like I'd give it like a 3.
I think this is probably a solid four for me. The only thing that bugs me is like watching the trailer. The "We Will Rock You" how it's like stomp, stomp, clap.
Right.
Well, in the trailer, it shows like a huge audience doing it, and they do clap, clap, stomp, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, how did they let this happen? That's not
Right.
it's stomp, stomp, clap.
Are you concerned at all that it's PG-13
Um,
given
I didn't know it
his
was PG-13, so you're just
yeah.
breaking the maybe a little bit. And also, I've heard that they're not. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that they're not going to really get too much into uh, him having AIDS,
Hmm.
which seems odd if you're doing a story about like, are you afraid to address that?
Yeah, that does seem really strange. And like he had such a crazy life that I don't know, it feels like he had an R-rated life to me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's surprising.
yeah. I hope it's not some sort of tamed down. I don't know,
Hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still probably a four.
So then also on the 2nd of November, we have Boy Erased. This looks pretty good to me. I think that Lucas Hedges is a really great actor. And I think he's probably my favorite young talent uh, working today. He's great. And Nicole Kidman, Russell Crowe. It definitely looks like it's going to be a really sad but moving. And so
Yeah.
I think
You
it's
notice something interesting about this cast? Nicole Kidman, Russell Crowe, Joel Edgerton, Troy Sivan. They're all Australian.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, I just think that's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah, and Lucas Hedges like squeezing in on the Aussie.
right. And they all have American accents in the trailer. So,
Yeah,
um,
Joel Edgerton direct
right.
is this, and I don't know. I think it looks pretty emotional. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we both saw Miseducation of Cameron Post, so
Hmm.
this is kind of in the same vein.
Yeah,
This seems like definitely a more dramatic take on the conversion therapy or
right.
straight camp. But yeah, I think it looks really good. I definitely can see it getting a lot of Oscar nominations
Mm,
potentially. Um, it'll be interesting to see how they tackle this without like getting too cheesy, or too preachy even.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think it looks really good.
yeah. It'll a lot of this will depend on the writing
Right.
because we know the performance is going to be good. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
see if the writing is good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I this is probably the closest one I am to a five, but I'm still a four for this.
yeah. Hmm. I'm gonna give it a five just because
Okay.
I really think Lucas Hedges is phenomenal.
Hmm.
So, all right. Then on the ninth, we have Overlord. And I don't really understand this movie. It's a zombie World War II movie or something.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's a J.J. Abrams produced film, so that's a great sign for me because I love
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams. But yeah, it does seem like kind of a bonkers storyline. But when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, wow, this kind of looks good, but I don't know. And then the
Uh,
Rotten Tomato scores started coming out, and
oh,
it's
I
been
didn't.
getting really good reviews.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's like I think it's in the 80s right now.
oh.
Um, so I think it's gonna work. I'm hoping there's a lot more to it than what we see in the trailer. But yeah, I think it looks pretty
Oh,
intriguing personally.
interesting. Because I wasn't sure if it was going to be like another Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter kind of,
Um,
kind of. That's what I kind of wondered. But that's good to hear that it's getting good reviews.
yep.
So the trailer was kind of confusing, but I don't know.
Mhm.
So I'll give it two and a half.
Two and a half. Oh, we can do halves. Okay.
Yeah, let's do
Then
halves.
then I'll give it a four, just a four.
Four. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then on the ninth, we have Dr. Seuss The Grinch from Illumination. And when they very first did a teaser, I was actually pretty impressed. And I thought, oh, maybe they're going to do a good job. But the more trailers have come out, the less interested I am in this movie. I think that the humor looks really lame, and they seem to have forgotten, like, in the story, the Grinch is upset because of all the noise, which is like a relatable thing. Like if my neighbors were like making all of this noise, I would be getting pretty irritated too. And I feel like he's just like a horrible person. And I know maybe that's overthinking the Grinch movie, but I don't know. I just feel like they I, and these are the same people who made the Lorax, which was the worst. I hate it so much, and I don't think that uh, it works to take these short, stories from Dr. Seuss and make them full feature films. It just doesn't work. I mean, the only one that was watchable was the Horton Hears the Who, but that was from Blue Sky, not from Illumination. And I don't know. And why do you have Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch if he's not doing his voice? Like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Just have a
Yeah,
voice actor do it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is kind of interesting because when you think of the Grinch, we have the original cartoon, we have the
Yeah.
Jim Carrey version, and they're both kind of like they're so good at what they are. Like, why do we need a third version? Is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm actually the opposite of you. When the first teaser came out, I was like, who cares? And as I've seen trailers, full trailers, I've been like, oh, okay, it's a completely different take on the story. Not completely,
Mm-hmm.
but they're definitely taking their own direction, which I appreciate that personally.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you like things to be a little bit more true to the source material,
Yeah.
and I don't mind if it breaks away from that. Um, which there's nothing wrong with either perspective, I think
Right.
personally. But yeah, I think it looks kind of funny. It doesn't look amazing, but I trust Illumination. It's not my favorite animation studio, not even close. But I mean, what they have done that I've seen, like I've enjoyed to varying degrees. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks pretty good.
Cool. I'm willing and hoping to be surprised. Uh I've I don't know. Like I just feel like they are the junk food of animation. Like they some of their movies are fine, I guess, but they never have done anything as bold as they've never done one movie that was like I thought bold or try and take risks at all. They just make movies that I mean, I think their best movie is probably Sing, and that's not that great to me. I don't know. I'm not that big on the Despicable Me movies, so I'm just not a fan of that studio, and I really hated the Lorax. So I I hope it will be good. I hope it will surprise me. But you agree with me. Why hire Benedict Cumberbatch? Like
Yeah,
that's so stupid.
honestly, that's how I feel about like most voice acting in animated. Like, why
Yeah.
waste your budget on paying somebody like so much? Like, we don't need that. But yeah,
Yeah.
especially in this case, I see your point.
Yeah. I mean, at least in most cases, you're like, okay, I understand because you have his voice, like whatever. If but you don't even have his voice, like it's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
It is a
Yeah.
Christmas movie, which I love Christmas movies, and it is animation, so I hope it'll be good. But yeah, I'm gonna give it 2.
Yeah, I mean, low expectations could be a good thing
Yeah.
in this
Yep.
case.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, 4 for me though. I think I
Okay.
said
Cool.
that.
All right. So the girl in the spider's web. This is the sequel to the girl with the dragon tattoo, which I did not see. This is just not for me. It looks quality though. Looks good, but it doesn't look like something I'd like.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. I did see the girl with the dragon tattoo. It's been a while. I don't remember it very well. I know people love that film, the original and the Rooney Mara version. Um, it didn't stick with me, but I actually think this looks better than the girl with the dragon tattoo. And that
Mhm.
might be a little blasphemous to say. I don't know, but it seems like it has a more intriguing premise. I guess it's a prequel, kind of. My
Mhm.
roommate's upset that they don't have Rooney Mara in it, but I don't mind. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't find Claire Foy to be endearing at all in any role I've seen her in.
Mhm.
So it will be interesting to see her in this, but I'm gonna check it out. I don't expect to love it, but
Mhm.
it could be
Maybe.
okay.
Is that true even for First Man? Huh?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think her character she did a great job in First
Uh-huh.
Man. I don't think her character was particularly likable. She wasn't
Oh,
unlikable, but
I
she was
haven't
just,
seen it yet.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
We better get on that
I
soon.
know, I know, I know. I was gonna go yesterday, but I was so tired.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll give it a 4 just because for its
Oh,
target for like I think the people that like that kind of thing will like it, if that
oh,
makes sense.
would you put it at a 4 personally? Because
No.
I'm going based off of what I'm
Okay.
looking for.
All right. Fair enough. If it's just my personal opinion, personal taste, then I'd probably give it a 2, 1. I
Okay.
don't know. But
Yeah.
it's not made for me, so I feel like
Right.
it's not really fair.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 2 as well.
Oh, okay.
I
Interesting.
know.
All
I'm finally
right.
being harsh here.
So we have Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. And this one, I think it looks fine. I think that looks like a perfectly adequate fantasy. movie. I'm not excited about Johnny Depp at all. I think he looks super groan inducing. I am not excited about them totally retconning and not having Dumbledore be gay really at all. I think that's super lame. I um I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Newt as a character. I didn't really like him. I couldn't understand what he was saying half the time in the original. I thought the original was tonally all over the place. Didn't really work that well. But it'll probably be fine. I'm not super high on it, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't love the first one. I mean, I thought it was
Yeah.
good. Um, it's about what you would expect, but it didn't compare to the Harry Potter movies for me.
No, not at all.
Um, and when the trailers started coming out for this, I'm like, what even is it? Like, why do I care? But then, like a week ago, I saw the newest trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason, this particular trailer like gave me exactly what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just like enthralled watching this trailer. So I've kind of done a 180 on this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't into it until I saw the newest trailer, which I don't know if you've seen that one. I don't even know how to
Um,
describe it.
yeah, I've seen a bunch of trailers, but I'm not sure. But I feel like if they really use Queenie and I think it's Jacob,
Hmm.
I think
Oh
if they
yeah.
use them a lot, because they were definitely, in my opinion, the best part of
Oh,
the
for
film
sure.
for sure. I think Jude Law has potential to be an interesting Dumbledore. So, and I think the trailers have been fine for me. They look
Yeah.
perfectly fine. And so I don't know. I'd give it 2 crown or two. I'll give it 2.
Yeah. I probably would have been around the two, but I think I'm about 3.5 or 4 now,
Yeah.
based on this last trailer. And can I also just say that it is my pet peeve when people are like, "Okay, I'm gonna go see the new Harry Potter movie," and I'm like, "This is not a Harry Potter movie. Like, sure, it's in the same universe, but don't call it
Right.
a Harry Potter movie."
Yeah.
And
Well,
I know people that do that.
yeah, that's true. I mean, the thing about the Harry Potter movies and books is that they had a clear. It's the same problem that the Hobbit movies had, where the Hobbit movies there's not a clear right and wrong. There's not a clear moral center to the
Hmm.
story. It's just like the book, The Hobbit, is just like a bunch of adventures, and which isn't as compelling to me as Frodo having to fight this evil, this obvious, there's this obvious good, obvious evil. And then in Fantastic Beasts it's the same problem that the Hobbit movies have, where uh, because you don't have this Voldemort, this evil that's building and growing and they're fighting against. I think it's much harder to pull off
Yeah,
in this kind
yeah.
of
It doesn't
story.
have the same stakes that Harry Potter
Yeah,
has.
moral gravitas
Hmm.
in both cases. So I don't know. Next, on the 16th, we have Instant Family. And I have to say, I was kind of won over by this trailer. I'm a big adoption foster care advocate. I think it's really important, really great. And I feel like Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne will have decent chemistry. I feel, and I just think I hope this movie is kind of sweet and a nice message. And I don't think it'll be like the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I actually ended up liking the trailer.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I hadn't really heard about this movie when I first
Mm-hmm.
saw the trailer in the theater, so I didn't know what I was watching. But it's kind of interesting because Mark Wahlberg is kind of like he would be a reason for me not to be interested in a movie, and Rose
Mm-hmm.
Byrne is the opposite. Like
Yeah.
I'm more inclined to see movies she's in, so they might meet at the middle here, and um, my interest in this is a little bit torn, but I do like the message behind the movie, and
Yeah.
I did get some good chuckles in the trailer. It does look a little cheesy, but I think that's okay, especially this time of year, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still am a little burned by Daddy's Home too,
Yeah.
but hopefully he can redeem himself as a comedy guy. I don't know. I give it. I'm gonna give it four.
Okay, I'll give it a 3.
Mm. Yeah. All right. Next we have Widows, and this movie. I just don't see how any film fan is not kind of a little hyped about it. No, I mean, amazing cast. Steve McQueen's a great director. It looks like I feel like this is like the dramatic Ocean's 8, but like much better. Viola Davis, just this incredible cast. Liam Neeson's in it. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you here. I mean, the trailer is, I mean, at least the first time anybody watches this trailer, how can you not be like, wow,
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
to
that's what
see
I'm
this?
saying. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. I mean, it's got a lot of buzz.
okay.
It doesn't seem like your typical Oscar-y movie, but I
Hmm.
mean, it's even getting some Oscar buzz.
Yeah,
But how could it not with this cast? Uh,
yeah. I'm gonna give it a four.
yeah, I might give it a 4.5.
Yeah, 4 point. I agree with you. 4.5.
Yep.
All right. Next, we had on the 16th at Eternity's Gate, and this is one I hadn't heard of before doing this. And it's got William Dafoe as Vincent Van Gogh, and Oscar Isaac, Mads Mikkelsen is in it, and I love Vincent Van Gogh, and I think it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, how did you feel about Loving Vincent? I don't remember.
Yeah, wasn't a
Yeah,
big fan.
yeah, I think this looks way better than Loving
Yeah,
Vincent, to be honest. I mean, conceptually, Loving Vincent, I respect it, but
yeah.
the story was so bland. And this, I think, looks pretty intriguing. I like Vincent Van Gogh. I like Willem Dafoe. He's he's considered an Oscar frontrunner for this role.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I don't know that I'll love it, but definitely interested in checking it out.
Yeah, yeah. Guess same for me. So I give it like a 3.5.
Okay, I give it a 3.
Yeah. Okay, then the last on 16th is The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. And I am not that big on the latest Coen Brothers comedies. It's been a long time since they made a comedy that I liked. I really didn't like Hail Caesar. And this to me looked like Hail Caesar, but in the Old West. And I don't know. I'm just not excited about it at all.
Yeah, so the Coen brothers are my favorite directors, and I did like Hail Caesar. The thing that makes me nervous about this is it was supposed to be like a 6-episode miniseries,
Hmm.
and they decided to just make it a movie instead, like a Netflix movie, and combine it into like 2 hours or whatever. So that
I know.
made
I
me.
just felt like Hail Caesar was like, here's all this stuff we like. And the story just didn't do it for me.
Oh, I really enjoyed it, but maybe I'm biased.
That's
Um,
fine. I know a lot of people did. I just didn't work for me.
yeah.
And I don't know. There's just been a number of their comedies. The last movie of theirs that I really liked was Inside Llewyn Davis,
Okay.
and this didn't look like one that would win me over. But yeah, if you like their brand of humor, then you'll probably like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it has really good reviews, so that's always a good sign. I mean,
Mm.
you can't live and die by critics, but um, I think it'll be good. But
Yeah.
that's just because I kind of like pretty much everything Coen Brothers. I'm just a little bit nervous that it might feel like too rushed or too
Yeah.
crammed with different stories going on.
Yeah. So what are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
So, all right, now we're moving on to the 21st of November. So we have Robin Hood, and this looks really cheesy. It looks really terrible, and it doesn't look like it's going to be kind of fun, terrible. This kind of looks like King Arthur, that King Arthur movie last year, except for maybe cheaper. So yeah, this looks really bad to me.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and I'm a little confused watching the trailer too. Like, what time are we in? Like,
Yeah,
because they're kind of dressing like semi-modern, and
yeah.
it looks at medieval at the same time, and I'm a little bit confused about that. I thought it seemed interesting based on the cast before I saw a trailer, but after seeing the trailer, I'm like, meh.
Yeah. I'd give it 1.
I'm gonna give it 1.5.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Creed 2. So I think this looks really great. The new director. I think it could possibly be the end of Rocky. So bring tissues. But you've got Drago and his son challenging Adonis Creed, and I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it looks technically good, but first of all, I never saw Creed, which I need to.
What?
Yeah, I
You
know.
never saw Creed?
No,
Oh
no,
my
no.
gosh,
I
it's so
have it on
good.
DVD. I plan on watching it before this comes out, so I can watch it.
One of the best movies that year, in my
Oh,
opinion.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hmm.
But I mean, Ryan Coogler, he did a lot of really cool, like one take, like the fights were like these one take shots that moved around the
Okay.
thing, and it got pretty emotional. It was a good performance from Sylvester Stallone. Like it was the best he'd been in a long
Oh,
time.
yeah, wasn't he nominated for an Oscar?
Yeah, and I thought he was way better than the Bridge of Spies guy.
Hmm.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not big into sports or boxing movies, so personally, just watching the trailer, I can't tell the difference at all from the first movie's trailer. It just
Mm.
looks exactly the same to me. But I'm open-minded about it. I trust what people have said about the first movie, and I assume that this one will be just as good. I mean, if not, like, then it's going to be close. I
Mm-hmm.
trust Ryan Coogler. Um, Michael B. Jordan's good, so I mean, it's got all the right things to be a pretty good movie. It's just not necessarily my
Yeah,
thing.
that
So
makes sense. I'm gonna give it 4.5. I'm really
okay,
excited about it.
I'll give it 2.
Okay. Then we have Ralph Breaks the Internet. So I was not happy about most of. I was not super in love with the trailers, and I think the whole concept of going online is really dumb. I think it kind of hurts the whole appeal of Wreck-It Ralph, which I'm not like as high on as some other Disney fans. It's fine, but the whole appeal of it is this vintage arcade character and this kind of vintage arcade. And last time, I one of the things that annoyed me is we only got to spend time in 3 games. You have this whole arcade, so why go on the line? I don't know. And just like all the humor seemed really just not great to me and kind of DreamWorksy, which I don't want to see from Disney. And I don't know. But all that said, this last trailer where they actually showed some of the game that's sort of the apocalyptic wasteland game, racing game, with Gal Gadot as I think her name is Skinner or something like that. I think that I actually saw, okay, there's a story here. It's not just going to be a bunch of lame internet jokes. And I'm like, this now is more interesting to me.
Mhm.
So, it's a Disney movie. Of course, I'm going to be excited for it. Of course, I'm looking forward to it, but maybe not as much as some Disney fans.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I really liked Wreck-It Ralph. It was one of my favorite movies of that year. Um, what I appreciate about Wreck-It Ralph with the vintage video game, like it's kind of timeless, like
Yeah.
it feels like it could work anytime. Like watch it 20 years from now, it still works. I feel like this is going to be very 2018, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know that like its references to internet culture are going to really like live much further than 2018. So that makes me a bit nervous, and also I'm worried that it's just going to be like this big synergy like product placement for Disney. uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It just feels very, like I said, DreamWorksy, like a Shrek movie, and I'm just not super into that style of satire kind of
mhm,
humor. But if they get enough story, and they keep that heart that was in the first one, because there was tons of heart in the
mhm.
original Ralph, and
Yeah, and also like for my own personal reasons, my friend and I for a few years have dated or debated about whether Vanellope is officially a Disney princess. And I always say, yeah, she's a
Yeah.
Disney princess. She's in a Disney animated classic. She's a princess.
Yeah.
My friend says, no, she has not been coronated.
She hasn't been coordinated. So you're talking about, but neither has Anna and Elsa, and they're obviously, and Moana hasn't yet either.
Okay.
So the last one they coordinated was Merida.
All
So it's
right.
been a while since they added someone officially to the lineup, but really
Mhm.
that's only merchandising. That's because they have the official Disney princesses
Right.
merchandising line, and there's a lot of technical princesses that aren't in that actual line,
Okay.
and like the princess in Atlantis, the Lost Empire, Kita.
Oh, I didn't even think
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, she's not in there. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of ones, but yeah, she definitely, and you're gonna have the whole Disney princess scene in
I
this
know.
with
But they
Vanellope.
tell her she's a princess,
Yeah,
so
they do. I have my issues with that scene, but
Oh
hopefully,
yeah, did you hear the controversy about Tiana?
yeah. Well, there was that, which, yeah, I'm glad they fixed that. That's
Hmm.
that's fine. But I just, I don't know. I don't know. It kind of annoys me, like things like Belle saying, are you enslaved?" Or, oh, I forget exactly the word she uses, but all the time I've spent defending that she doesn't have Stockholm syndrome, and here they're making a joke with her about that, and I'm like, ugh, I don't know. I I I didn't love this princess scene that I saw at D23, but I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic and hopeful, and uh, but I have my concerns about this movie. But that said, it's still a Disney movie. It and this last trailer looked like, oh, we're gonna have some story. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm gonna still give it probably a 4.5.
Okay. All right. Then next on the 21st, we have the front runner. This is Hugh Jackman as Gary Hart, which was a huge scandal in the 80s. Jason Reitman writing and directing, or at least directing. And I loved Jason Reitman's movies, except for Tully, which was a disappointment. Um, and I'm really excited about this. I think it looks great. I think it'll be really interesting, given the times that we live in,
Hmm.
to look back on this scandal of the time. And I think Jackman will be really good. And so, yeah, I think I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add. I think it looks pretty good. It looks like a standard movie you'd expect this time of year that's gonna be pretty good. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay, I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Then we have Green Book. This is a road trip movie with, I think it's Viggo Mortensen
Hmm.
and Mahershala Ali. And I've heard nothing but really good things about this
Right.
movie. So from the festivals, that it's really sweet and that it's really just a lovely little movie. And the trailer looked really sweet and really lovely.
Right.
And so I'm all about it. I think it looks great.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the trailer till today, and I'd been hearing about this movie, but
Yeah.
yeah, the trailer really won me over. I mean, it looks endearing. Viggo Mortensen doesn't look like himself at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like himself, but it's got quite a bit of Oscar buzz. I think it looks really good. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah. I'm going to give 4.5.
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah. All right. Then we have The Favorite. So this, you have these two people, and like, it's I forget which era that would be. It's a period piece,
Yeah.
and they're all trying to win over the favor of Queen Anne, I believe it is, and it looks good, but I do not like this director. I did not like The Lobster. It wasn't for me. I
Oh, I
didn't
didn't
like
know it
it.
was that director.
Yeah. And so, and that's only one of his movies that I've seen, but I did not care
Mhm.
for it really. And so that's the part of it that makes me, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I remember last year before the killing of a sacred deer, I
Mm.
was very hesitant about it because it was from the director of The Lobster, and I didn't really care for The Lobster. But now, a year later, you're telling me it's that director, and it's kind of making me more excited because I
Mhm.
loved the killing of a sacred deer.
There you go.
I think the trailer looks really like cuckoo, and I love the cast.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
and all of these ladies are getting at least some Oscar buzz. So I don't know. I think it looks really good. Like I don't know what to expect fully, but I'm intrigued.
Hmm. Yeah, it does. And maybe if I'd seen some more of his work, I don't know. I hope it'll be funny and just kind of bonkers. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 2.5.
Okay, I'll give it 4.5.
There you go. All right, we do get a anime film from a really wonderful director, Hosada Mamoru Hosada is his name, and his movies have been really excellent. This obviously anime. He does a really good job of weaving together sci-fi themes with stories that have heart, and I think he does a really beautiful job with his movies. So I'm really hyped on this Mirai of the Future. It's a really interesting story about this boy who has this new baby sister that he's struggling with, and he kind of wanders into this garden, and there he meets a, a young woman who's actually his sister from the future that's come back, and that's why it's called Mirai of the Future. And I think it actually looks kind of creative, and so I'm excited about it. And so I'm gonna give it 4.5 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw the trailer right before we started recording. I wasn't fully paying attention. It's not my kind of thing, but I'm glad that they make these movies for people who appreciate anime. So I'll give it a 1 personally.
Okay, good. All right. On the 30th of November, we have Anna in the Apocalypse. This is at least in my world of Christmas movie uh, fans, this is very hyped up and talked up, and we are all very excited about it. This is your zombie Christmas musical, and my friend saw it at Fantastic Fest last year and said it was great, really funny, really great songs. I haven't heard anybody who's seen it who hasn't really loved it, and I'm just so excited because I will have seen something like, probably by the time the 30th of November comes, I will have seen maybe close to 30 Christmas movies between the two channels and everything I've covered. So I think like getting to see this insane zombie Christmas movie musical is just going to be such a refreshing change from like the Hallmark stuff. So I'm super pumped for this. It's my most anticipated of this next part of the year. I really think it looks creative,
Oh, wow.
different, and funny. And I really like. I'm not that big a zombie person, but I do like when zombies are like fun, like Warm Bodies. I really enjoyed, and I actually really enjoyed Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I feel like I'm the only one who had fun with that movie. So I'm very hyped. 5 for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the concept's pretty interesting. Um, I'm not super familiar with the studio that's putting it out.
That's true.
It doesn't look a super high budget, which
Yeah.
that's not necessarily a bad thing. Watching the trailer, like the songs didn't do much for me. So I get where you're coming from, but for me that I'm a little cautious with it. I don't want to get my hopes up too high for this because I did really like the concept. Um, so I'm probably at a 3 right now, and I'm really hoping that it will be better than I expect it to be.
Yeah. No, that's true. And also, I think that if I'm not sure if it's the writer or the director or something like that. Like they died or something, and this is like their passion project. This is their
Oh.
thing, and so I think there's a lot of passion in it. But yeah, you're right. It is definitely an indie film, and it's
Mhm.
definitely an unknown studio and unknown actors. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Then on the 30th, we have If Beale Street Could Talk. This is by Barry Jenkins, the director of Moonlight. And this looks really sweet to me. I think it looks like a really like inspirational or touch not inspirational, it looks like a really touching family drama to me, and I think that Regina King will probably get nominated for it. She looks really good in it, and I feel like there's a lot of buzz about her as an actress
Mhm.
right now. It seems like her moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it looks good.
Yeah, it does look really good. I really don't know what the storyline is just
Yeah,
from the trailer. But sometimes that's okay. I mean, there have been movies where I really didn't know what the storyline was at
it's kind of
all.
about this family, right?
Okay. Yeah,
I
but
think.
yeah, I don't know anything specific.
Yeah.
I think the trailer looks pretty beautiful, though. I mean,
Mhm.
one of the best parts of Moonlight was the cinematography, and
Yeah.
I can already tell that this is going to have great cinematography as well.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna have like this I don't know sort of feel to it that I'm gonna appreciate. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really good, and I'm sure this will be another movie that we'll be hearing a lot about during award season.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. Then we have Mary Queen of Scots. This looks like my kind of period film. I think this looks really fun, and I love period films. And Saoirse Ronan's great actress, Margot Robbie. I think they're going to be. I think it's going to be really cool with her as Mary Queen of Scots and Margot Robbie as Queen Elizabeth. And yeah, I'm up for it. I think it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a movie that I've been looking forward to, especially based on the cast. And then when I saw the trailer, it's like, oh, this looks like a BBC film.
I love
So,
BBC films.
well, that's great. Um, yeah, I think I was expecting it to be more like what The Favorite looks like it's
Yeah.
going to be.
It kind of reminded me of the show Victoria, which I'm a huge fan of.
Okay.
I love it. So yeah, I it could be super boring. That's the downside. But hopefully it won't be. It looks like
Yeah.
they're kind of having a little bit of fun with it, kind of being sort of dishy and really getting into these characters. So hopefully it won't be boring.
Yeah, and it's just for me, it's hard to buy Margot Robbie as being any sort of ugly, you know? Like they try
Yeah,
to
that's
make her out
fair.
to look bad, and it just reminds me of an SNL skit that she was in where she was like a librarian and she was trying to be sexy and her hair was falling out and her teeth were falling. It just kind of looks like it's not going to work for me, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll be good. I hope I'm wrong.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's probably a
Yeah.
2 for me.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
I'm just being super generous right now.
We're
Okay.
flipping. Started off
uh,
the other way.
so then we have Ben is Back. This stars Lucas Hedges, who I love and thinks amazing,
Mhm.
and Julia Roberts. It's an addiction story. This
Mhm.
is directed by his dad, Peter Hedges, and so yeah, I think it looks like a pretty good movie. I thought Julia Roberts.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting like certain movies in pairs this year. Like we have Beautiful Boy coming out later this month, and then
Mhm.
this, and they're pretty much the same story or similar stories. I
Right.
think I think this seems more how do I say this? So Beautiful Boy, it kind of looks like they're acting, like you see they're acting.
Right.
Hopefully that's not a bad thing for me, but like this seems like they're just kind of being real, which I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I haven't heard good things about Beautiful Boy.
Oh, oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that makes me kind of sad because
I know.
I've been looking forward to it, but I
Yeah.
just hope it doesn't have
I've
like
heard the
melodrama.
performances are good, but the movie is not. But
Okay.
who knows? But yeah, I mean, I feel like this will be solid.
Yeah, do you think it'll be the better of the two?
Uh, if I was, yes, because I think I forget who that's got Timothy Chalamet, right?
Right.
In Beautiful Boy. Um, but and they're both really good actors, but I love Lucas Hedges, I guess,
Mm.
and I don't know. And I'm kind of a little bit tired of Steve Carell
Yeah.
doing
Oh, we're getting a
drama.
lot of him.
Come on, come back to us. Be funny again. Be funny. I miss it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm partly swayed because I've heard these reviews
Mm.
out of TIFF and stuff that it wasn't great with Beautiful Boy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this I will give 3.5.
Okay, I'll give it a 3.
Solid. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is the 14th of December, and there are no words for how excited I am about this movie. I shouldn't have said that Anna the Apocalypse was my most hyped. This is definitely my most hyped. I think this movie looks amazing. I love the animation, and this last trailer with the different Spider-Man with the different, like, there's an anime one and the
And
kid.
women.
That's right. And the Nicolas Cage one looked amazing. And that they're all going to be sort of interacting together with these different animation styles. For an animation fan like me, it's like, oh, I'm so excited. And the director is the same director who did Rise of the Guardians, which I find very underrated. So he's already done one animated superhero movie. And I think the whole story looks really cool, and I think it'll have nice heart to it. And I am just super pumped. They're using this sort of hybrid animation, which is you get the sort of the flat look of 2D while still obviously being computer graphics, and so it's a real groundbreaking film as far as the animation style. But I don't know, I just think the story looks really cute and funny and creative, and I'm super pumped. 5 for me for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and the sneak peek at the end of Venom, oh, it was so good. I loved it. Anyway,
Yeah, honestly, like I wish I had left the theater sooner with Venom because man, those credits went so slowly, and then I got that thing. What
you
I
didn't like it? You didn't like the sneak peek?
no,
What?
and it's nothing against this movie. I just if I I I was already venting about how I wish they'd get rid of these stupid things at the end of the trailer or the end of the credits because I'd rather just leave. Like that's 10 minutes I'm losing just sitting there waiting.
Oh man, I was
It
listening.
was
I
fine.
loved it. It was my favorite thing about the whole day.
Okay. Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
Venom was
I could
fine.
see why it would be more a better part than the actual movie Venom.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh,
But
anyway, yeah,
I can tell that this is kind of a unique animation style.
yeah.
It seems kind of meta as well. That storyline does. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it that much. I'll go watch it, but I don't have much investment into this at all.
Fair enough.
It's probably a 2 for me.
Okay. All right. Then we have Mortal Engines, and this is Peter Jackson, right?
Yep.
And so that's the only real reason I'm interested in it. It looks super boring to me. Just not for me, this kind of story.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when the first trailer came out, it really didn't show much at all. You just saw this big thing moving and it had London on it.
Yeah.
Um, and that was enough to intrigue me. Plus, Peter Jackson was like, oh, okay, what could this be? But the more trailers I've seen, I'm like, I don't think so. I want to be optimistic because, like, uh, King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
So I want to have hope that he can have something else that I'll really love. But this isn't it. I can already tell this is, I don't know.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I give it a 1.5.
I'll give it a 2 just because of Peter Jackson.
Yeah. All right. Then we have The Mule. This is Clint Eastwood movie. It looked like he's an old man that's in the drug trafficking or
Hmm.
something. Anyway, he hasn't actually acted in a movie for a while. Just directing. And so I don't know, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think it looks really good,
Yeah.
actually. I think Clint Eastwood looks like he's giving a great performance in this film.
Mhm.
Um, I like the concept. I saw a similar movie called Boundaries, except it was a comedy about an old man who is a drug mule. Um, so yeah, I think this looks great.
Mhm.
I think it looks well directed, well acted. It checks every box, honestly. I think it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I guess there was that baseball movie, but it doesn't. I think that's the last movie that he was in acting. But the last, I feel like he hasn't been in a big movie since Gran Torino.
Right.
But I don't know. So I'm gonna give it 4.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4. I almost gave it a 4.5, but I'll give it a 4.
Yeah. So then we have second act, and to me, this looked like a serviceable rom com. J Lo hasn't been in a rom com in a long time. You've got her getting this job that she, through these mistaken, people think she's somebody else,
Hmm.
and I don't think it'll be a great movie, but I like rom coms, so I'll probably enjoy it. And so, yeah, I give it a 3.
Yeah, I think it looks better than the last few movies I've seen her in, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
Um, this is just one of those movies where like you watch the trailer and you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly where this
Yeah.
is gonna go. Like if it surprises me, that's gonna be incredible. But it just feels like a pretty standard like story of somebody like deceives somebody, they get caught,
Mhm.
they feel bad, and then it all works out in
The
the
only
end.
thing, it wasn't really sure in the trailer who the love interest will be. So, if
Yeah.
they have chemistry, then that can make a difference. But
Hmm.
uh but yeah, like I said, I don't think it'll be a good movie, but I'll
Right.
probably like it because I like rom-coms.
Fair enough.
Um,
It's a 2 for me.
Although recently, wait till our wrap up, I have some not good things to say about certain rom-coms that have recently
Okay.
come out. A Destination Wedding. Okay. That's the thing when you love a genre and people do it badly, then it's like, uh, okay. Then Vox Lux. So there's no trailer for this. There's just an interview with Natalie Portman,
There's
and
a
I guess
little teaser.
like not even like a teaser. It doesn't even like show anything.
Right.
And so Jude Law's in it, and Natalie Portman's playing some kind of pop star or something.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's hard to have really an opinion about it. Those are quality actors. Again, it'll probably get hurt a little bit because The Star is Born is so good,
Hmm.
and so if it's about a you know new young pop star like that, might feel a little weak by comparison, but who knows?
True. Yeah. I wish there was a trailer for it. I mean, I like the concept. Like some promotional images I've seen have given me Black Swan vibes, which I love that movie.
Yeah.
Um, and the music from the movie, I believe, is written by Sia, which I love Sia. So
Mhm.
I think it seems pretty good. It's hard to say without a trailer, but
Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 3 or 3.5 without even seeing a trailer.
I'm gonna give it a 2,
Okay,
but yeah, unlimited information. So
right.
then also on the 14th we have Roma. This is filmed in black and white by Alfonso Cuarón, and he's a great director. And uh, it looks like it'll have a lot of atmosphere of Mexico, I think.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I've heard really good things about it. and it's really good. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, they're saying this is Netflix's best shot at breaking into the award season. Um, I think it looks really good. I mean, it's hard for me to tell what it's about
Yeah,
exactly. I
agreed.
didn't read up on the premise. I just saw the trailer.
Yeah,
I do love the director. Um, I trust that it's going to be as good as people are saying. Um, I just don't know exactly what to expect storyline wise.
yeah, agreed. I'm gonna give it a 3 for now.
Yeah, I think a three seems about right. So
Yeah.
I'll agree.
All right, we have Mary Poppins Returns, and I haven't been a big fan of most of these live action remakes, reboots, whatever. But I have to say, the trailers have been so enchanting for this. I think they've nailed it. And I hope that the new songs are good. And that, like, I actually wasn't a big fan of the Broadway musical Mary Poppins. I didn't like the things they added. I didn't think that they worked tonally or just with the story. And I love Mary Poppins. It's I think one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. I think it is super great. But the 2D animation sequences in this and the trailer, I was like, oh, love it. It was so good. And so I'm pretty excited about this. And I'm nervous because it's such a beloved property, but at least it's not a sequel. I mean, at least it's not a remake, it's a sequel. I'm a little bit confused about Dick Van Dyke's character because first of all, I didn't know if he is playing Bert. Then I didn't know that Mary Poppins was immortal because she's hasn't aged since the first movie, but he's this old man. So I didn't know that was a thing. But if he's playing a different character, then that's interesting and kind of because it's supposed to be a sequel. So if it's a sequel, why is Dick Van Dyke playing another character? That's confusing. And I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean we kind of know the answer to whether she's immortal or forever young, um, in the fact that they show the kids from the original and they're adults, so she doesn't age
Yeah.
is what we're supposed to get out of this.
Yeah, I didn't know
Um,
that one. I didn't know that about Mary Pop. Who knew? But I
yeah,
guess she flies on umbrellas, so
yeah, true. I
why
mean,
not?
yeah, yeah,
But
and
yeah, I
like,
just don't know if he's going to be Bert or if he's just going to be a totally different
yeah,
character.
I'm not sure. That's a good question. It seems like he would have aged a lot compared to other characters in this. Because
Right.
the
Yeah.
kids haven't aged that, but they're just normal adults.
Right.
But yeah, I love Mary Poppins. I mean, that was such a huge part of my childhood,
Me too.
and I do appreciate that they're making a sequel without completely changing the whole style of this from the Mary Poppins. Like
Yeah.
if you think about it, the Wizard of Oz we all love, and then Disney came out with Oz the Great and Powerful, which was kind of a sequel, but it was
Prequel.
nothing. A prequel? Oh, okay, it
Oz the
was a
Great and
prequel. Yeah,
Powerful.
that's what I meant. I haven't watched it in a while, and I didn't love it. But
Okay.
yeah, it was nothing like The Wizard of Oz. So at least this is going to be very similar to Mary Poppins, and that it's a musical. It has similar animation, so I respect that. I'm just a little nervous though
Yeah.
because I love the original so much, and I do love Emily Blunt, but it's hard to imagine it being nearly as good. But I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. 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 I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay, I'll give it a four.
Okay. All right. Then we have Aquaman. So I think these trailers have been fine. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it looks like the worst thing ever," and I'm like, "Yeah, I disagree. It looks fine to me." But the one thing I'm not sold on yet is the underwater worlds because, like, I feel like it just looks like kind of blue worlds. It doesn't look like when they made Little Mermaid, they animated a million bubbles so that when people moved, it floated. Like, yeah, I get it. Technically, like fish don't have bubbles, but it just, as an aesthetic thing, it made it feel like you were underwater because there was some movement, there was some flow to things. And I kind of wish they had done something like that, because to me, it just kind of looked like more, they were sort of in like a blue cloud or something. Like it didn't feel like you're underwater. And so that's the only thing I'm like nervous about. And I'm a little nervous about the humor in the script, if it's going to be super cringy. His like one-liners and stuff, it could be really fun, it could be charming. Jason Momoa, I think, is pretty charming, charismatic guy. So I don't know, depending on who you talk to, I feel like I'm more positive about it than a lot of other people I hear. But I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm definitely more positive than most people I know. But I did think Aquaman was by far one of the best parts of Justice League. And I'm that weirdo that, like, since I was a teenager, I've been wanting an Aquaman movie. Like, I don't know, something about like the whole underwater like universe with the superhero that's intrigued me. When I first saw the trailer, I thought it looked really good. I can see it not being good as well, but I'm kind of optimistic, and I think it might be better than most of these other DC Universe movies we've got.
Yeah. So what are you giving it?
I'll give it a 4.
Wow. I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
Solid. I hope it'll be good. Okay. Then we have, on the 21st, we have Bumblebee. And this is directed by Travis Knight, who did Kubo and the Two Strings. No more Michael Bay. So that's a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
And you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that, but I love Kubo, yes. So that gives me hope.
Yes. And Haley Steinfeld, solid actress. She's a good actress. And I actually think the trailers have been sweet and look charming. And so I'm hoping this will be a bit of redemption for the Transformers franchise, which I've not been a big fan of.
Right.
But I've always felt like they had potential to be something sweet and fun instead of frustrating. So I'm hopeful that this will be good.
Yeah, I am too, actually. I think this looks way better than the past few Transformer movies.
Yeah.
They've just become so grandiose, like so much CGI, so much going on. So I think scaling it back like so much and being able to focus on story and not just being like this whole action fest, like I think that will be great for this movie. So I think it'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's better than every Transformer movie.
Yeah, agreed. So, which one do you think is going to be the big hit? Like this December? Like I feel like Mary Poppins will, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, it's a very crowded Christmas. I mean, even Alita, the Battle Angel, had to move to make room. I don't know. I'd bet on superheroes. We saw how well Venom did, and that surprised me. So I wouldn't be surprised if Aquaman did really well.
Yeah, could be, certainly. So all right, then we have Welcome to Marwen, and this has Steve Carell, and he creates these worlds with these puppets. And just as a stop motion animation fan, I love the idea of this movie, and I think I'm really excited to see it and see the stop motion. And Robert Zemeckis is a director that usually directs with a lot of heart, and so I'm hoping that this is going to be really sweet and really, fun movie for Christmas. And it just looked pretty creative, I think, and pretty different. It could be really boring. That's the the worry, I guess, and it being too sentimental and too precious. But I'm hoping it'll be good. Well, what do you think?
Yeah. I think it looks good. It seems like it's got all the right ingredients to be a well done movie. I like Robert Zemeckis. I will say it's starting to feel like Steve Carell's just kind of desperate for an Oscar, doesn't it? Like it seems like all of his roles he's choosing is like, please let this be the one. And that's kind of how I felt with Leonardo DiCaprio a few years ago. And then he finally got that Oscar and then kind of disappeared for a while.
Yeah, has he been in the movies?
No, he's like, "Oh, I finally got it. I can rest." So,
Yeah.
this, sorry, Steve. This is not going to be your year. I know you're in Beautiful Boy and this, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen this year.
Agreed. Like I said, come back to us. We miss you. Be funny again, please.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it a 4. I actually
Okay.
think it'll be good.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah. All right. So on the 25th, Merry Christmas, we have Holmes and Watson. And I don't know. I guess it's just this is just the year to make terrible Sherlock Holmes movies because we already had Sherlock Gnomes,
Oh yeah.
and this looks terrible. I didn't think it looked funny at all. I I don't know. It just not for me. I didn't like it, the trailer at all.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes stories anyways.
Mhm.
Put Will Ferrell in there, that's not gonna sell me at all. So
Like that old, like the selfie joke with the old fashioned camera, like that fell flat in the
yeah.
trailer. Like, oh great. Uh, I actually am a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. And I guess there could be a good comedy if you got like the Monty Python people or somebody like that. That's brilliant, but this looks terrible. 0.
Oh
I
wow, okay.
awful to
I'll
me.
give it a 1.
Okay. Then we have Vice. This is Christian Bale as unrecognizable as Dick Cheney. He looked so different. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, this is Dick Cheney's story, I guess, and it's by Adam McKay, right? The
Hmm.
director of Big Short. Um, and so I liked The Big Short. I hope it'll be better than that terrible movie W, which was so boring and so terrible. So I think it looks solid. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay. Yeah, I think it looks really good. I was very surprised when I saw the trailer. I didn't expect it to be as funny as it is. I was laughing out loud like watching the trailer. Um, I yeah, I think it's going to be great, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised to see Christian Bale get an Oscar. We've seen that putting on prosthetics can do it for people. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'd give this 4.5.
Mhm. Yeah, Oscars love nothing more than for Hollywood people to gain weight. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
like
see, I said
super
prosthetics. He doesn't
brave.
even have prosthetics.
Yeah, like that's super brave, and
It is. I mean, you kind of deserve the Oscar doing that.
you gained weight.
And he's
You,
he's the person in Hollywood who's like
yeah,
changed himself physically for so many roles.
yeah,
So
that's true.
he's
All
committed.
right, yeah, I don't know. I think it looks solid, but we'll see how they do it. I hope it's not too heavy handed,
Mhm.
um, and that they just yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So then we have on the 25th, we have On the Basis of Sex. This is RBG story. I kind of irritated that they hired a British person to play Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Why couldn't they have hired an American? Little annoying. I feel like I don't know. I feel like her voice isn't. I don't know. Is not the right voice,
Mhm.
but that's a nitpick. It looks serviceable. It looks solid. Looks fine. But we've already gotten the RBG actual documentary this
Right.
year that she has to compete with, which was so good.
Hmm. Yeah, this is pretty standard.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's kind of going to be following this like one case with the dad that's being
Yeah.
discriminated against, which we heard about that in RBG, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen RBG, but yeah, I think that's probably the better route to go. I don't want to see a whole movie acted out about her again. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. I give it a 3.
I'll give it a 2.
Okay. All right. Then on the 11th of January, we have The
It's my
Upside.
birthday.
Oh, there you go. I don't, hopefully this will be a nice birthday present. We'll see. I'm a little skeptical because why if this because this does why on earth wouldn't it be released in December if they had real faith in it.
Right.
But Bryan Cranston playing this quadriplegic who they hire Kevin Hart as his assistant, whatever, caretaker. It looks a little cloying to me, but the cast is really good. But yeah, the release date is kind of weird to me. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, really, November and December are so crowded too that I could see that maybe they just didn't want to have to compete, and
Uh-huh.
that it's not a reflection on the quality. I mean, we do get decent January movies. We got, well, I was going to say Paddington, but yeah, Paddington was
Yeah,
January.
Paddington is January. That's true.
Um, see, not that this was going to be a Paddington, but
It didn't look horrible to
no,
me.
it doesn't
It
look.
looked fine.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would say it looked better than fine. Like I was surprised watching the
yeah,
trailer. It's I wouldn't have expected Kevin Hart to be in this kind of movie.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
so yeah, I think it looks intriguing.
I mean, I wish they would actually hire a real quadriplegic to play this kind of
True.
role because it's not like in some movies you have to hire a fully able whatever person because there you have to have the before and after. But from everything I've seen from the trailer, this is you don't have that problem here,
Hmm.
and so why not hire somebody? That would be really cool. But
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, I can see that these studios they want the name recognition.
Yeah,
So there's kind of that balance of like, like do we do the right thing or do we try to get people
yeah,
to come watch our movie?
right.
Um,
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.
yeah, I'll give it a 3 as well.
Yeah. All right. So then we have Glass, and this is our sequel to what was it called?
Split and
Split,
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. So this is just not for me. I didn't like Split. I didn't like. I mean, Unbreakable is fine. I didn't love it though, like everybody else. Um, and I'll never understand why it makes sense for that killer to leave those girls and go to work. That was the stupid, that's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. Just so he could be there, so that he could sense him. Like, I don't know, this is dumb. But for the people that like it, will like this, and the marketing has been really good.
Mhm.
But it's just not for me.
Yeah, I would say it is for me.
Yeah.
Unbreakable, I really love. That was one of my favorite movies of that year, and Split, I thought was really good. Honestly, the thing that like tipped the scale in the favor of Split for me was seeing that connection to Unbreakable. That's when I was like, wow, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I've been looking forward to Glass. Watching the trailer, I'm not as excited about it. I still am looking forward to it, but it seems kind of like a shoehorned plot. Like we're gonna get all three of these characters in the same room and in straitjackets, and I don't know. I don't know. I hope it works, but I'm not completely sold yet.
Mm, interesting. So what do you give it?
Probably probably a 4 just based on me enjoying the other movies so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 0.5. I'm not excited. It's not for
Wow.
me. It's not for me. It's just not. And I probably won't even see it just because I really disliked Split. I thought it was the whole weird um, child rape part. I thought was very bizarre, and I didn't like it. So not for me.
Okay.
Then the 25th, we have Serenity. And I watched this trailer last night and I wrote, looks like a decent thriller, but I literally can remember nothing about it.
Yeah.
So I just watched it last night. But uh, yeah, so I don't know. I can't remember. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, Serenity is a trailer I've been seeing quite a bit for the past few months. It
Oh,
was
really?
originally supposed to come out this year, and it's another one of those movies that they pushed back because it's just kind of a crowded time of year, which isn't a great sign for the movie.
Yeah.
When I first saw the trailers the first few times, like I joked that it was a sequel to shoot, what's that Christopher Nolan movie with Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, Interstellar.
Interstellar. Yeah, because you have Matthew McConaughey like driving through a cornfield in this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have become more intrigued by it the more I've seen the trailer, which I mean
Uh-huh.
usually it would be the opposite.
Right.
Um, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I, I, it looks, I'm going to give it a two.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 as well.
Yeah. So last one is Tito and the Birds, and this is an animated film that is going to be making a qualifying run in December, but won't be released for all of us until January. And I got to watch it on a screener, and I think that the whole idea of the story is that there is this bird flu that thrives off of people's fears. So the idea is like fear is sort of contagious and it spreads, and like so you have to figure out like the antidote. And there's this little boy and his father is gone, and he's like looking for his father, who was a scientist for anyway. So it was a pretty creative idea. The script is a little clunky sometimes with the way it's like, yes, we get it, we understand this message, you don't have to tell us this message, but I think that it's definitely one that you'll probably hear about come. It was one of those indie Oscar animated films, I think, that will show up. It's very similar to The Boy and the World, which both films come out of Brazil. And I had the chance to interview the director, so that was pretty cool. And they did a good job of making it look like it was painted with oil paintings. But they, it's using the computer, but they did a really good job with that. So it has a really cool visual style, and the music's really good. And it's a sweet little movie. It's not perfect, but I enjoyed it. And so if you want to support small indie animation, I think it's worth a watch.
Yeah, this was another trailer I just watched before we started recording. I can't say much for the plot. I didn't pick up on all the plot details, but I think visually it looks pretty great. Like it looks very unique. So yeah, I think that's enough to kind of have me intrigued.
Yeah.
So I'd probably give it a 2.
Yeah.
I guess you can't give it a number since you've seen it.
Yeah. I'd probably give it like as a score, I'd probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. That is the upcoming movies from November all the way through January. Let us know what you're excited for, what you're looking forward to, and which ones don't look great to you. Let us know. And yeah, I mean, I think my most anticipated is definitely Anna and the Apocalypse and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Those are my most excited.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this as I should have been, but probably Vice, Widows, maybe even Aquaman. Those might be the ones I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. So it'll be really fun to see what happens. And so, yeah, let us know in the comment section which ones you're most excited for. And thanks so much for doing this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love doing these. So where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, the David Healy. That's my Twitter name. Also, we're both on Facebook in a group called Film Freaks. Facebook.com/Film Freaks Group.
Great. Yes, I'll have that all in the description section. Check that out. And yeah, you can follow me here at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. And if you can put in your reviews of the podcast on iTunes, it really helps us out. We really appreciate it when you do. So thanks for that. And we will talk again soon. We're going to be talking our fall movie wrap up in a couple of weeks. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. So, all right. Well, we will talk again soon. And thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.